I'm gonna try this again, see if this works. Okay, cool. There we go. That worked now. All right. What's going on, man? So I don't know what was going on with my last live stream. It was not coming up. I couldn't see any messages. I didn't know what was going on. I just had to start this thing all over again. What's going on, Mark? All right. So I don't know what you guys heard or didn't hear. I apologize for that. I don't know what YouTube was doing. YouTube was tripping. Um, but shout out to Tamira because Tamira brought it to my attention. I didn't even see it. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Q's everywhere. Q is a big supporter. We love Q. Q is always that's the homie right there. So again, this offseason talk, Mark has talked about a lot when it comes to this offseason. You know, it's a lot going on. We got DeMarcus Lawrence, we got Cole Beasley, we got guys that people don't even know that are on the team, like Darian Thompson that got re-signed today. Yes, he in fact was on the team last year. If you guys didn't realize, he's a special teams guy. He got brought back because again they're only paying him $720,000. He is not a guy that. No, Mark, I'm not saying that. I was giving you props on you basically being in touch with it, in tune on everything that's going on. You actually, I actually paid attention to what you had too, because I didn't catch some of the news myself. That's why when I saw you do it, I looked some of the stuff up. So shout out to you, Mark, um, and shout out to Mark too for doing live streaming his work. Those of you that are into that construction stuff is kind of cool. Mark Holmes is one of those guys that can just sit there and look at something and be like, "Hey, um, he ain't got to write. He ain't got to write it down. He ain't got to draw it. He ain't got to do nothing. He just be like, oh, this is what you want. All right, let me think of this in my head and do it." Everybody has their talents, and that's what Mark is good at. Everybody has their thing. Um, Q, you said Tamira had strep throat. Oh. So anyway, so as we were talking about with Darian Thompson, his contract is only 720,000. It's not eating up anything. It really doesn't matter. But I'm more happy about the fact that they brought back Justin March Lillard. His contract is similar to that. It's a low contract. It's a contract that's not going to eat up any of the cap space for the Dallas Cowboys. You look at those two guys, but again, they're there for depth purposes. Because again, when you have your starters, you look at Jalen Smith, you look at Leighton Vander Esch. What do you have outside of them? I mean, you got Chris Covington, but again, he's a young guy. We don't know what he's capable of doing at this point. Um, yeah, Mark the OG, right? D Law. What you don't want to do with D Law, and this is the issue that I've been talking about all off season. Now they put the franchise tag on him because they did not want him to go into free agency. Because if you look at all the free agents that are out there right now, he is, if not the top, he is one of the top guys that's out there. You look at his value to this team. We wanted a war daddy on this team for years. The last time we had a war daddy on this team was when Demarcus Ware was on this team. We have not had that war daddy, the guy that Jerry Jones has been talking about. Now you look at what we have right now. Jerry Jones is, you need to sign it. That is your war daddy right now. D Law is your war daddy. You said Jerry could buy a yacht but can't pay D Law. Now I'm gonna say something to that. Now Jerry buying a $250 million yacht, that's his personal money. The money that they pay the players is salary money. That's not the team's, that's not Jerry's personal money. That is the league's money. This is the reason why you have a salary cap, because that money, and you can't give a player your personal money to give them a contract. That's against the rules. You can't do that. That money comes from a pot that the NFL provides for each team, which is right now it's $188 million for your total team. So I would hate to be the one to have to count out these contracts and make sure that you're getting the money in between that. Yeah, Mark, I hear you, Mark. Pay the man. You got to pay the man. And I look at it like this. They have to do this before July because this is what you guys are not. This is what you guys are not understanding about the D-Law situation. The longer you take to sign him, if say for instance if they get close to July, the deadline for signing the franchise tag, one, we know the D-Law is not signing that. Two, he still has that partially torn labrum. If you remember in the Houston game, it actually popped, his shoulder popped out of the socket, and he had to get it put back in. Yeah, no one mentioned that. Now the issue that I have is because of his shoulder injury, he's not going to get that surgery until he gets paid. You push it down the line to July, you run the risk of him not getting the surgery to around training camp time. And how long is that going to take to heal? Like, you look at a normal person, that could take 6 to 8, maybe a year healing. But for a football player, maybe that's a quarter of the time. But still, you don't want D-Law missing games because you waited to sign him too late. Now he's getting the surgery. And then now you got to find another defensive tackle to keep somebody else on your team and cut a player that you really wanted to play or keep, but you now have to cut them because he can't play the first 4 games or whatever the case may be because he's still recovering from his surgery. That's the issue. That's the main issue that I have. That and the fact that you don't want that animosity between him and the team. That is your leader on defense. He is the leader of the Hot Boys. They just let Anthony Brown become a part of the team when it come to that. And that's where I'm at. You cannot, it is imperative for them to get this contract signed. That's the frustrating thing right now. Sign that man. Yes, they gave him an offer, but it was 17, 18 mil. It was basically close to what he gets paid now from the franchise tag. He don't want that. Give him $22 million, give him a 4-year contract, spread that thing out. Front load his contract where it's incentives. Because even if you only giving him $22 million a year, if you give him a decent contract that makes sense, then you look at Brian SoCal, thanks for the super chat. I'm gonna get on Beasley too, because I got something to say about him too. Front load that contract, put some incentives in there. Then what you do is you take the rest of that money and you spread that out through the contract. That way, it's still team friendly. You're not eating up as much as the cap, and both sides are happy. You give him workout bonuses. You give him sack bonuses. Create some type of incentive for him to get to, because if he reaches that, then that money will come out later, not now. That's another thing that you guys have to understand. The business side of football is a beast. It ain't just shits and giggles. We out here just playing football. You know, it's a business side to it. Kid Mega, you said me and Mark gonna do another trip to Dallas. Yeah, more than likely. Right now we're trying to figure out how we're gonna get to the draft, and because it's gonna be in Tennessee this year. You said he's not worth Khalil Mack money or Aaron Donald money either. This is the thing. I want to pay him. I want to pay him $22 to $23 million a year, and like I said, spread that money out. Mark Holmes, yes, draft. There's a lot of guys in the draft, and I talked about in the first stream that you guys couldn't get on, but I'll say it again. You got options, and me and Mark talked about this too. You need a space eater in there. You need a defensive tackle. You don't need somebody that's super athletic. You need a guy that's big, that's going to take up space, that's going to eat those blocks, so those ends could come and have a feast on quarterbacks. Because you look at what we have in our division right now, what quarterback is killing in our division right now? Not really. Case Keenum's now going to the Redskins, so it's going to be Keenum burgers all day. It's going to be Eli burgers all day. It's going to be Wentz burgers all day. So we have a chance with this defense to do some great things. But you got to keep these guys together. You have to do what you need to do, and you got to do it the right way. Now, again, you look at contracts. Dak Prescott, you got to get him together right now. And I say this because, and I said this in the last in one of my other videos, that you got to sign him before the Chiefs sign Pat Mahomes, because if not, because they're going to pay Pat Mahomes, and that's going to be north of $2 million. And he's going to set the NFL on fire when it comes to quarterback contracts. And again, it's about the market. When it comes to free agency, it ain't about the player's ability, it's the market. When you sit here and you be like, oh, how did Kirk Cousins get that money? How does this guy get that money? How does this guy get that money? Well, when guys go into free agency or whatever the case may be, and another team wants them, you have to overpay for it. It's just like when you go to an auction and you bid on something. You're overpaying for a lot of that stuff that you're getting because you're trying to outbid somebody else, and you're trying to make it sweet for the player. Look at what we did with Brandon Carr. Was Brandon Carr worth $50 million? No, but Brandon Carr was a good player. And I believe that he didn't do the best with us because we didn't use him right. I believe that if Brandon Carr was still on this team now, with us playing more of the way that he plays, like press man cover, he would have played much better with us. Kid Mega, you said you live in Memphis, Tennessee. Might take a trip to see you guys. Yeah, definitely. Come out. We're going to be doing a tailgate. Mark's going to be ahead of all that. I will be helping out Mark a lot with a lot of this stuff. I'm going to be his right-hand man on these things, and we're just going to get it done. We just got to come up, formulate some things, and do it the right way. So everything is less stressful to us. Said Dak looking to get 27 to 30 mil, pay the man. Brian Soka, I agree. I would pay Dak 25 mil. That's what I want to. As far as yes, Mark, party time, definitely. I want to pay him 25 because we got guys that we got to get together. We got to get these guys taken care of first and foremost. You look at oh yeah, that draft coverage is going to be serious. And what I'm going to do is also too after this free agency, because it's going to be when Monday come, y'all. When I tell you guys free agency it's going to be news coming like this. It's going to be videos all over the place. Mark might actually hit 1,000 that day. I love you, Mark. I do. But I will say this though: the after free agency, I'm gonna start working on the mock draft. We're probably gonna do it at Mark's house again. Me and DMV, we're gonna work on our mock boards. We're gonna do what we did last year. Mark still has all of the teams and stuff on the wall. Hit 1,000 videos, Mark, for free agency with all the movement that's going to be going on. That's what I was talking about. I was making a joke, but yeah. So how Mark has in his basement, what we did last year when we did the mock draft, and yeah, it's going to be an annual mock draft, Dre. That's what we're going to do. He's gonna have the teams on the wall, and we're just gonna have at it. We're just gonna have our mock draft. Like last year, we sucked. I think I had 3 right first round picks, but it was still fun to do. It was great. I had fun. I learned a lot then because I was a rookie when it comes to doing mock drafts. But now I feel like I'm not a grizzled veteran yet, but I'm definitely got a little bit more experience at it now. So I feel a little bit more comfortable about doing mock drafts and doing them successfully. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to do that. Mark's going to help us out with that as far as getting it filmed and stuff better than ESPN. And Mark's vision and what Mark was trying to tell you guys before in his live stream about the vision that he had about being bigger than ESPN, about showing you guys a different perspective. And I say this all the time. With me personally, I look at it like this. We are regular people just like you guys. We're not talking heads. We're not out there making the dollars. So we don't have to fabricate what we say. We don't have to go out and say bullshit just to put it out there. We don't have to be clickbait, because when you come to my channel, when you come to E2's channel, you're going to get honesty. You are going to get the truth. You're going to get a different perspective when it comes to me, because I'm going to go over things and I'm going to talk about some things sometimes that you don't think about, because when I look at situations, I don't always judge the situations straight off the bat. I look at it from a perspective. I lean back a little bit and I just think, and I'm like, okay, let me think this through for a second before I make a judgment. I want to know what the situation is and how it's going about before we go through that. No, they don't compare, Dre. They don't. Did I see Mark's video with the New York Stinging Giants fan? I was around for all of that, Victor. I've seen all of it. Are you talking about when we did the draft, or are you talking about recently? I love Rashid, but that that squeaky voice. Oh my God, when he gets hyped talking about them Giants, I'm like, dude, shut up. That's enough. The question is, do you pay Zeke? Pay the man. Okay, so this is what I was saying, Brian. What you could do if you go to a situation where you don't know what to do with all the players in the offseason, what you could do is you could let Zeke play on his 5th-year option, sign him next year. Because he's going to get Gurley money, $54 million as a whole. No, I didn't see that one, Victor. As a whole, $54 million. Because I think that's what Gurley's getting. Now, Gurley's got arthritis in his knee. What, 4 years into the league? Like, again, shelf life for running backs is very short. Now, Ezekiel Elliott, what we have to do with Zeke going forward is we have to play him smarter. We cannot sit here and continue to run him into the ground, because you see what happened at the end of last season where he was having ankle injuries and knee injuries, things like. You can't do that. You can't run the running back. You got to get a decent backup to help him out, and we have to throw the ball downfield more. I'm going to say it again. We have to start throwing the ball downfield more. And I think that now with Linehan gone, we are in a situation where we can do these things more effectively. And that's how I look at it. And I look at it as a plus. I'm liking what Kellen Moore is going to bring to this team. I'm loving what Dak Prescott is already saying, because a quarterback is not going to sit here and high praise somebody that they don't want as their coordinator for the most part. They know things that we don't know. You said if Cowboys play their cards right, expect big teams. Yeah, and they do. But again, they have the players to do it. They have the wherewithal to do it. They have the grit to do it. This team still plays for Garrett, so I can't take that away from him right now. So, but they have to be smarter about it. They can no longer be conservative. They have to go out here and take chances. And they got to do something to free agency this year. They got to figure something out. Now, what they could do, like I said, they could push Zeke back till next year. They could push Amari Cooper back till next year. But the players that you got to get right now, you got to get D-Law taken care of. You got to get Dak taken care of. And maybe you could squeeze Byron Jones in there, because his contract is probably not going to be as much as those other guys. Okay, Tamira, you in here? I see you now. Thanks. Oh, shout out to Tamira for even letting me know what happened, because I was wondering why I only had 3 people in the chat. So I don't know, YouTube tripping. I think I think they might cut me soon. I don't know what's going on. I don't think they like me anymore. I don't even do nothing wrong, so I don't know what the issue is. Cowboy X Factor, what's going on? You're a grateful Dallas Cowboy fan to have Dak Prescott after seeing the Case Keenum trade. Yes, and that's another thing, and I think Mark spoke on that too. That's one thing we don't have to worry about is getting a quarterback, because outside of Kyler Murray and maybe that big tall dude, I forget his name, that 6'7" guy, ain't that many quarterbacks out right now. But this draft is full of slot receivers, it's full of defensive guys, defensive tackles, and there's a lot of safeties in free agency, which is I'm getting ready to get into now. Hey, Kathy Green, how you doing? Do you think we get a big body for the middle of free agency or the draft? Yes, I spoke on that as well. We're definitely going to get a refrigerator with arms. We need that. We need that space eater in there for defensive tackle. Cowboys Express said, Duke Johnson of Dallas Cowboys would be nice in my opinion. Compliment to Zeke. I agree. The Eagles trying to get him too, but the Eagles ain't got no money, so we'll see what happens with that. Again, free agency is next week. It's going to be a lot of things that's going to pop off. It's going to be a lot of news, and the news is going to come hard and fast. Yeah, Tamira, you just missed it. Right before you came on, I said that I'm definitely doing a mock draft. After this free agency thing is over, I'm going to be working on my draft. I'm going to be working with DMV. I'm going to be working with Mark. Mark doesn't do mock drafts, but we're going to do some things with Mark as far as doing our draft boards. We're going to put our draft boards together individually, and then me and DMV are probably going to come together, and we'll do it with Mark, and we'll do some things with that. Kind of like what we did last year. I don't know how many of you guys followed my channel last offseason when I first started my channel, but that's similar to what we did. What's going on now? Big now. They need to find a suitable backup running back for Zeke so they can take the load off. Yeah, yes, and I mentioned that. That is something that is imperative. They got to get somebody. Mark, you said YouTube been messing up, thinking they're upgraded. Yeah, I think they are. They're making some changes and stuff, but the problem is it's messing up people's channels. But I didn't get a message or email from them at all saying that they're doing anything. Only thing I got an email about the policy changes and some of the how they're doing copyright strikes and things of that nature. So, but yeah, we just gotta be careful with that. So Dre the Great, you two, what do you think about both fourth round picks? Slot, yeah, and with that comp pick though, you definitely can pick up either a safety or a tight end. You can actually get a tight end too. But there's plenty of slot receivers to go around. We could get one actually in the fifth round too, because we don't have a six because our sixth round pick was taken when we got that trade with Benet and Wickery, which ain't even on the team anymore. So that was a waste of a sixth round pick in my opinion. But there's so many different things that we can do. Oh, Tamir, you got strep throat? Feel better. I hope you feel better. Gargle with some vinegar and salt water too. Yes, Andy Isabella, but I think that he might because he had a very good time in the 40. He might go in the top first the first round. So we might miss out on that because again we don't have that first round pick. Mark, you said you could sit at the desk while we do it. Yeah. Well, that's what we did before. Like when we did it at your house, you had the teams on the wall. We just pretty much just went ahead and did it that way. So as far as Cole Beasley goes, now Cole Beasley has been very boisterous in his in his Twitter, and I was looking at his tweets, and you know he basically said the slot receivers don't grow on trees, but they do this draft. He kind of said that prematurely. Now, and I'm not taking nothing away from Cole Beasley. I think that he's a great slot receiver. I think that he can catch the ball very well. He's a great team guy, but he wants $20 million guaranteed. Now, some people got that messed up. He's not talking about $20 million a year. He's saying $20 million guaranteed on the contract. So how you get him that if you want, you can basically spread that out to about four years, 4.5, 4.8, 4.7, something like that a year. I would give him $5 million a year. I would do that if that were the case. If he doesn't accept that, and you tell him that you're going to give him some incentives and things like that, then go ahead and let him walk. Offer him that. You can offer him that. But if he doesn't accept that $5 million a year, $20 million, guarantee his $20 million, whatever. Give him some incentives. Be like, we'll guarantee you if you hit this milestone, whatever. If you don't accept that, adios. Because again, you still got Allen Hurns. The team is still high on Allen Hurns. Now, the biggest thing with Allen Hurns is his injury. Now, he'll be healed by training camp, but my question is his mind. It's a mental thing. Are you is your confidence going to be there to be able to come back and play? You look at the same thing with Jalen Smith. When Jalen Smith came back from his injury, it's a confidence thing. If you're confident, you can come back and play. You can do the damn thing. And I think that they could work it like that. Allen Hurns is a taller guy. He could play all of the positions, honestly. So I really like Allen Hurns. I just feel like they didn't use him enough. Again, you have to use the guys that you have. Use them, and I stress this so many times. What'd you say, Tamara? By watching Mark live streams while he worked. Yeah. Thank God for Mark's live streams. Yes, he is saving throats and people's livelihoods one day at a time. Oh yeah. With that set that you got working on, Mark, it is gonna be a good time, brother. And I see what you're doing. Mark, though, I was thinking about I don't know, maybe I get a locker in here somewhere in the background. Give me a little locker in here. I don't know what you think, Mark. What you think? Tamara, you say you love Beasley, but you say take the money he want added to the Tank's contract. I can't hate that. I can't hate that idea. I'm with it. Byron coming up on the payday too. Yeah, he is. I think he's going to be on his 5th-year contract as well. The thing about Byron, though, You're gonna have to pay him, but again, cornerback money ain't like pass rusher money. So think of it like that. You don't think we should give Cole that because his numbers been down? His numbers been down because Amari Cooper has been on the team. The times that he did get the ball, it was like in garbage time. And I understand why he was complaining, because there's different ways that we can use Cole Beasley that we didn't use him last year. I understand his gripe, but what he has to understand too is that it's still a team sport. Ain't but enough balls can go around on the field. I mean, you said you already asked Mark how much he charged for a lock. Yeah. Yeah, Mark, if you could build me one, that would be awesome. I would love you forever, Pops. Cooper is playing more in the slot now. Yeah, well, no, well, see, Cooper is going to stay on the outside. Well, Cooper can play all of the positions, but you got Cooper, you got him and Gallup on the outside. You can slide Allen Hurns down on the inside. Now where Cole Beasley need to chill out is now that Jason Witten is here for 1 year. What's going on, Redskins 24/7? Now that you have Jason Witten back, Jason Witten is your underneath guy. So again, he's only here for 1 year, and I'm gonna get into him too as well. But Cole Beasley has to understand that, like, again, it's a tricky situation because he's a short guy, and when the ball is snapped, you can't really see him all the time. And when we're watching a game, we're watching it from an angled view. We can see the whole field, but when you're down there on the field and you're the quarterback and you got these big old linemen coming at you, you got your offensive linemen in front of you, and everybody's falling and moving around, you can't see the whole field. So that's why you got to move around. You got to that's why a lot of teams don't like short quarterbacks like Kellen Moore and Russell Wilson, because these guys are shorter. But you have to do different things to get around to be able to see these guys. So that's what it is. But again, if Cole Beasley's gone, he's gone. I'm not going to cry over spilled milk. I do like the guy, but at the end of the day, we do have other pressing needs as well. You got to get D-Law done. LP Laddiser. Everybody forgot about my man LP. LP was actually the first one to get signed this offseason. They signed him. They got him on up of the way. He's a long snapper. He's going to be there for the foreseeable future. He will be 38 years old on the 14th. Happy birthday to LP Laddiser. He's actually a year older than Jason Witten. So, again, my whole thing is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The guy is perfect. Keep him on the team. Keep him on the team well into his 50s. That's what I'm saying. You look at Jason Witten on this team. I've heard people say, oh, he's slow. Well, he ain't never been fast, so it don't matter. Jason Witten gets you. He plays football like he plays basketball. He posts up, he boxes out, and that's how he gets the ball. He knows how to run routes. He is a route genius. He knows how to run routes correctly, and he's very disciplined with that. And he's a blocker. You look at what he's going to help out with this year when he's on that field and Dak's running around the pocket and he can't find nobody to pass it to because ain't nobody open. Jason Witten is right there. He's going to give you those yards. All those 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 5 and 3rd and 6 that we had this season that we could not convert, guess what? They will be converted because Jason Witten will get that ball. And they know he's going to get the ball, but they still won't be able to stop it because of Jason Witten. Our red zone becomes better with Jason Witten. You look at when he was with our team before, even with him and Dez, red zone threats. They're both red zone threats. Now, again, you can, if they're smart, if Kellen Moore want to make some noise, and if I was the offensive coordinator, what I would do is in the red zone, when you have Jason Witten in there, I would use him a lot as a decoy, where you would think that he's about to block and then go out in the flat and get the ball, and you can either run the ball with Dak, you can pitch it out to Zeke. There's Rod Smith. You could throw. There's so many different things that you could do. Well, they got to bring Rod Smith back. They got to give him another contract. But you know what I mean. If they do that, that would be smart. Because again, you will confuse the hell out of defense. They will never know what you're going to do in the red zone, and your percentages are going to go up tremendously in the red zone if you do things like that. And I think that it's imperative that the Cowboys do that with Jason Witten this year. You said don't sleep on Tavon Austin for that slot to be cheap. Yeah, but I don't think they're going to bring back Tavon. There has been no talk about Tavon. I don't think that they want him, and I think that his injury was a factor. This is the thing that kills me about this coaching staff. Why the hell would you trade for him? This is the issue that I had when Linehan was here. Remember in the offseason when they asked him, and I think we were in Texas at the time when this happened, when Tavon Austin got traded. I was sitting there like, okay, great. What are we going to do with him? Because I was happy to have him, but I said, we're going to flub this up because what are we going to do with him? And just like with the team, he had one great play that I remember in that Giants game, that long touchdown. That's it. They did not use him properly. And then he got injured, and then he came back and he was healthy, but they still didn't play him. They kept him inactive. You traded for a player to come on your team without really having a goal as to what you want to do with him. And I knew that was going to happen because when they asked Linehan about him in the offseason, it's like, oh, well, it don't matter. He can line as a running back, wide receiver. To me, that was a dumbass answer because you just sound stupid. That means you don't know what the hell you want to do with him. And again, we go through this all the time. We get these players that don't do a damn thing with them. Yes, and that was Linehan's fault. Another thing is, too, I heard somebody mention Switzer. I wanted to see what Switzer wasn't even here long enough to drink a cup of coffee. Like, I wanted to see what Switzer could do prior to them trading him off. He was a great guy in punt returns. You see what he did when he was in Carolina, when he played for UNC. So again, like I just don't get what they're doing. They messed up Rico Gathers. They made him gain weight, and they messed up his whole flow. Yeah, and Switzer balling right now with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers knew how to use him, and they used him a lot in their offense, especially around the red zone area. So again, I don't know. You could have used Cole Beasley in some ways, but I don't know what they're doing. I'm still trying to figure out what the identity of this front office and what their end game is when it comes to players, because they get these players, they don't know how to develop young talent. So my whole thing is this whole crap that they keep talking about going younger. Yeah, go younger, but figure out how you want to go younger. Figure out how are you going to utilize what you have with your younger players? Because to me, none of it makes sense if you're not going to use it right. And I feel like I got a bad feeling that if Rico goes to another team and a team actually develops him the right way and he starts becoming a monster, we're going to sit back and be like, damn, bro, what happened to you? And, it is what it is. Tamir, you say you really think that Scott and Garrett, if they don't like you, they will. Yeah, they will. And it's stupid. That's the most childish thing that I've ever heard. You said keep Sean Lee or cut him? Well, first of all, if you re-sign him, he's going to take a pay cut. He already said that he would take a pay cut. He wants to come back on this Dallas Cowboys team, and I think that if they were to do that, I'm all for it. He's willing to take a pay cut, and that's what's going to happen. So his contract is going to be team friendly, like Jason Witten, if he comes back. That's the bottom line with that. So I'm not really worried about Sean Lee. He's like a Jason Witten when it comes to how the team value him. He's going to be one of those players that will always be welcome to the team, in my opinion. Tamir, you said Rico is your guy. You really hope Moore gives him a meaningful play time. I hope that they don't cut him, because now that Jason Witten's back, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep 4 tight ends? Because, Jeff Swain was thinking like, damn, bro, that was my chance. Now that Jason Witten's back, I can't come back. Hello, Miss Jackie. How you doing? Do you re-sign Fleming? I would. Okay, my question to you, Dre, is do you want Fleming or do you want to go back and get Jeremy Parnell from from the Jaguars and bring him back. And see, this is the issue that I have with that. And I'm like, stop sabotaging players. And I know that other teams look at us like, Cowboys got all that talent on that team, and they just squander it every year. And that's the most frustrating part about being a Dallas Cowboy fan. And it irritates me when people say about a Cowboys bandwagon. Ain't no damn Cowboys bandwagon. That doesn't exist. When the last time we won a Super Bowl? To me, you can't call people overseas bandwagon fans because Cowboys is a big identity. It's a big figure. They're one of the richest franchises. So people are going to gravitate to the Dallas Cowboys. You can't blame them for that. That's just what they see. Now, for us that's here in America that have been Cowboy fans our whole lives, we look at it like this. There is no way you're going to sit here and say that we're bandwagon because it's a choice to be a Dallas Cowboy. It's hard to be a Dallas Cowboy fan. When you have a conservative-ass coaching staff, you have ownership that, and I love the Joneses, I do, but again, they're family-owned and operated. They run a big corporation like a mom and pop, which works well for the people that work for them, but sometimes it makes us as fans irritated because it's like some of the things that they do is just like, why would you do that? Like, let's try something different. I understand that your brand is to be traditional, but let's think outside the box sometime. Let's do something different. Let's figure out how to go in a different direction. And that's how I feel sometimes with our Dallas Cowboys. Tamir, you said, where did I get that backpack from? At Sports Nation, the big sports store in Springfield Mall in Springfield, Virginia. Mark's done a couple of videos while he was in that store. So yeah, actually, I'm next time Mark go back out there, I'm going with him. Maybe maybe next time I see Mark, we go back out there again because they definitely have some more stuff I want to pick up. You said, what about converting Kayvon Frazier to a hybrid? No. Doesn't work like that. I'm gonna tell you why. Because safety doesn't always transfer to cornerback, and cornerback doesn't always transfer to linebacker. There's only a few players in this league that can do things like that. Barry Church was a guy that can be a hybrid linebacker. If you're going to have somebody that's going to be a hybrid linebacker but still a safety, go back and get Barry Church because that's what Barry Church provided for us when he was here. Nah, that's not going to be good for Kayvon. You keep Kayvon where he is. Let him do his special teams thing and play his spot. You don't want to start changing things around because that's when you start having problems. Right. That's why I said, Mark, don't mess with that. You do not want to mess with that. Does Miss Jackie have the Power 4 t-shirt now? Mark, you sent it to her? Cowboy X Factor, you said Landon Collins, you could say, is a hybrid linebacker. Yeah, Landon Collins is. He's a naturally hybrid, but you don't want to make somebody that's not into that. That's where we messed up with Byron Jones when he first got with the team. Byron Jones would have had many monster years with the Cowboys if they would have kept him at corner in the first damn place. And we don't give the Cowboys no leeway to do that because Cowboys need to stop trying to do that because they're not good at coaching enough as it is to be trying to do that. While I'm on this topic, people kept saying, and Tamira, I think you commented on something like that on another, I think on Mark's channel or something, when somebody came out of the wall and kept saying, well, if D-Law don't want to sign the contract you give him, cut him. No, why would you cut your best player? Everybody keep trying to compare it to the Patriots. You can't compare us to the Patriots. We don't have Bill Belichick. We don't have Tom Brady. What's keeping them afloat and them being able to do that is the fact that they have a quarterback that is a GOAT. They have a quarterback that is his own offensive coordinator. When you have a team like that, you can gamble and do things like that. Cowboys, I don't think will be able to ever do things like that while we have the type of coaching staff that we have. It's not going to happen. We're not governed like that. We have to have specific talent in certain places to work. And I don't know how many times I have to reiterate that. No, we ain't doing that. What's going on, David? Q, you said who said that? I don't know who said that crap, but somebody said that in a video in a live stream or something. I think it was on Mark's channel, but no, do not do that. I'll say this again. I understand that some of you don't know a lot about football, and you guys don't know how it works. If you don't know, ask somebody. Ask Mark. Ask me. Ask some of the other. There's a lot of subscribers that follow us that know a lot about football as well. Ask somebody. Don't just come out and blurt crazy stuff like that, because people gonna look at you like, "Did you just really say that?" Like, it doesn't make sense, because there's so many different aspects of the game that Nate, you said you heard it on Voss channel. I might have heard it on Voss channel too. Oh yeah, but some people, I don't know. Some people may just be trolls and just saying crazy stuff just to try to get a rise out of people, because that's what they do, because they don't have anything else to do with their life. But I ain't got time for it. I just look at it like this. If it don't make sense, it's no point even talking about it. I look at, you said in my Soldier Boy voice. Damn. You stupid. Oh, you be like this. Cut him. What? I see somebody watches The Breakfast Club too. You stupid Q. Anyway, I love you guys. You guys are hilarious. You guys keep me on my toes. I love it. Miss Jackie, you said the Cowboys have to pay. We can't cut great players because they don't want to sign. Right. You can't. But again, D-Law deserves his money. And Tamira said that too. Give him his money. Give him his money. And like I said in the beginning of the stream, if you guys didn't hear me when I said it before, you gotta pay D-Law before that deadline in July, because again, he's not gonna get his shoulder surgery until after he gets his money. And again, you don't want him missing games, you don't want him missing training camp. So you got to get it done now. You got to get it done now. I don't know what the issue is, what they're scared of, if they're afraid that he's going to get injured again. I don't know what it is. But you're going to ruin that relationship with him, and you don't want him to start getting frustrated and getting mad. You know, D-Law is only, what, he's 27 years old. He's still a young guy. Not saying that he's young-minded, but when you're in your 20s, you don't think like you do when you're in your mid-30s or 40s or 50s. You don't think the same. When you're in your 20s, you're still in that, like, I'm becoming a man moment, and I'm like, oh, I got to get this money. I got to make this money. I got to do this. But you don't think clearly in certain situations. So he may get upset and feel some type of way, and he ain't signing that tag. He ain't doing that. So you got to pay him. You got to do that. And here comes my dog. What's up, Coco? Yes, it does help with free agency too. The sooner you get that done, the sooner you can concentrate on other guys. Get Dak out of the way. You can get other things done. Yvonne, what's going on, gal? I'm so tired of bringing in new players when we can't even get the players we got right. We are no good to ourselves right now. We need to focus on the players we have now and make them better. Yeah, and again, I've said this, and we've ruined a lot of careers with players. Players go to other teams and they dominate and they do great things, and that's the irritating part about it. And I just don't understand what the issue is. Is Coco? I don't know what the issue is. Coco, Tamir, you said she's key. Yeah, she get on my nerves, but she's a pretty brindle dog. She is. That's my baby though. So we talked about Cole Beasley and, you know, his tweets and things of that nature. If he goes, he goes. That's how I feel about that. I know I had to reiterate some of the topics from before because the live stream got messed up. I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. Taco Charlton. Now, I think I've said this before, but this is Taco Charlton's time to step it up. You see what happened with David Irving, and I'm going to get to David Irving too because I got some stuff to say about his retarded ass. Randy Gregory, they're both suspended indefinitely. Taco's got to step it up. Tamara, I feel you. nobody knows what to expect. Is he dealing with injuries? And I know that he has shoulder surgery too. So I think that some of that might have had to do with him being hurt and not really saying much about it. But I don't know. But again, not a good reason. No, I just, if it were me, you don't want to become that bust. You don't want to be that guy where it's like, okay, you were a first round pick for us, and now we're looking at you as a bust because you didn't bust it great. Dorrance Armstrong is out here outplaying you right now, and because if I'm Taco and I'm seeing Dorrance Armstrong out here doing some stuff, I was like, oh hell no, he's not about to leapfrog me for this position. Get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. Get it done. Work with D-Law. Work with some of your guys in the offseason. Get yourself better. Get yourself better in shape. Get your mind right. Get focused. Because this ain't no game. Because this is the NFL. You don't play, you got to get your butt out of there. And they're not going to sit here and baby you and hold your hand. This is the pros. This ain't college. So I really like Taco as a person. I think that I don't know what he's going through personally. But, yeah, like you said, Ms. Jackie, Dorrance is hungry. And Dorrance is going to take his hungry butt and he's going to get in that starting lineup. And Taco go sit there like, damn. It better be his breakout year. Because, again, you're sitting back and he has the road is paid for him right now. All he has to do is show up and produce. If he does his job and does what he's supposed to do, the Cowboys will re-sign him when his contract is up. And they'll do the right thing by you. But you got to put up your end of the bargain. A lot of people forgot about Dayton Jones too. Dayton Jones, I really like Dayton Jones. Dayton Jones was on IR. He was injured for most of the season, but for the season, I think that they're going to let him hit free agency. But if nobody's paying attention to him, I can see the Cowboys bringing back Dayton. Dayton will be a good. He'd be good depth for backing up Antoine Woods, the human log, and for Malik Collins, because we know Malik Collins gets injured a lot. He's always having foot injuries. So to counteract that, you get Dayton back, and then you go in the draft and you go get some more players in the draft. And again, this is how you should do things. You have to make sure that you got to make sure these guys are ready to go. You want to get the guys in the right position, but as we reiterate all the time, you got to get that space eater in there. Yep, the Deadskins did get Case Keenum, but that don't mean nothing to us because he gonna get knocked down just like every other quarterback does in the division. Is Anthony Brown contract up yet? I'm tired of Jordan Lewis not getting any play time. Now, but Tamira, you already know what that's about. Chris Richard apparently likes Anthony Brown's size more than Jordan Lewis, but I think that Jordan Lewis needs to get a better shot. But again, I can't wait to see what goes down in training camp because now you got a hungry Jordan Lewis and he's got a lot to prove right now. So we'll see what happens this offseason because that actually might change. You said you're short, so you got to fight for the short people. Yes, play Lewis. I agree. I like Jordan Lewis. I think that he needs to get a shot. But again, this all season, if he balls out in training camp, they will give him that shot. I mean, he's still on the team for a reason. It's not like they forgot about him. He's still a guy that can definitely show out and prove to them his worth. Now, you look at what we have going on. You look at this offense. This offense is going to be totally different this year. We got Vanilla Hand gone. You got Kellen Moore in place. He's going to be able to have the freedom to do some things. Dak's going to have his input, especially once Dak get his money. It's really going to be his team. So he's going to be boisterous. He's going to talk. So whether Cole Beasley is here or not, this offense is still going to function. With Jason Witten here, I don't think there's going to be a progress stopper because it's only a 1-year contract. And I look at it like this: he's going to be a mentor to both Jarwin and Schultz, and he's going to help elevate their game. We saw Blake Jarwin come to a head at the end of the year. We saw him start balling out. Now it's going to be more of that. You get these guys another offseason and some more confidence. We're going to start seeing some things. So sky's the limits for this offense, but we also have to keep our defense intact too, and that starts with D-Lo. Brown is better in the slot, faster and physical. Lewis is better outside corner. Yeah, I agree with that. Taco's problem is he don't have the heart and soul to get better like Armstrong does. He just doesn't care about putting extra effort in. Now, I hear you, David. I really hope that that's not his mindset, because if that's the issue, it'll be the same as David Irving. Speaking of David Irving, and I don't think you guys I was talking about David Irving. I was talking about the post that he put out, basically saying that, like, y'all hit me up when the league allows weed. What? This is my issue. Why would you say that? Like, so you can't not smoke weed just for that time so you can play the game and focus on playing the game and make millions of dollars so you can smoke all the weed you want to later? Like, bruh, seriously? And this is my issue. Like, then you say that you're in the league for a reason because of sheer natural talent. Well, you're not in the league right now, bro, because you're suspended indefinitely. Because you, I got to give it to him. He's honest. At least he's honest. But you just basically like ruined your NFL career by saying that. Nobody's even going to sign. Even if you were able to play for somebody, nobody's going to sign him now. Yeah, he's immature. Yeah, and you're right, Miss Jackie. And again, he's young-minded, and he's gonna learn the hard way. He's gonna be begging to come back to the NFL. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna go back and they're gonna look at that Instagram. They're gonna go back and look at that tweet, and they're gonna be like, "This is what you posted, and this is how you feel." And they're gonna judge him based off of that. They're gonna judge him off of that domestic violence, whether that really happened or not. They're gonna judge him on all the weed he was smoking. They're gonna judge about how he was bragging about, I'm going to smoke this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do whatever I want to do regardless of how y'all feel. It is what it is. And that's what it is. What's going on, Master? And that's just what it is with David Irving. He's childish, and it sucks because he had so much talent. So much talent. He played 2 games this season. I think he had like 7 tackles, 1 sack, and we paid him $2-something million from his tender. That was a waste of $2.3 million. It was a waste of money having him on this team. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, call him when it's legal. Call him when the league is allowing it. But, it is what it is. Ain't nobody going to call him. Because like I said, they're going to go back and they're going to look at that and they're going to say, you're not focused on football. Football is not something that you love. You're just doing it just to do it. Also, too, Yvonne, you said that Will Hearns kicking ass. So I mentioned this before you had just popped in before I had spoken of, but I'll reiterate for you. Alan Hearns is definitely kicking ass with his rehab. He's going to be ready for training camp. But my whole thing is his success is going to be off of basically how he feels personally. Is he going to trust that ankle? Is he going to trust cutting and running and stopping and all the pulling that he's going to be doing in his workouts? It's a confidence factor, kind of like what Jalen Smith went through. So that's really on him. I think that he can be very great for us. They can put him in a slot if Cole Beasley don't play no more. He's a taller guy. He can play all 3 positions. And I'm cool with it. I want him here. I think that they just need to use him more. I love him as a wide receiver. I really do. Jokers need to stay off social media, especially if they are on contract talks. Yeah. Cole Beasley been boisterous too. I mean, you got to chill out with that. Like, you can't be, there's nothing wrong with speaking your mind, but sometimes you you sell yourself short, and sometimes you kick yourself out of a contract by talking. Sometimes the best talk is no talk. That's just how I feel about it. Yeah, Nate. Yeah, I mean the way he said it, it was just like he was real cocky too. He was just like, "Look, I'm gonna smoke this weed. I don't care what you think. It is what it is." Yeah, I'm suspended indefinitely. Yeah, I smoke weed. It is what it is. Okay. Thanks for the super chat, but what? Really? Actually, I don't want to discuss that. Um, Pretty boy T, why you said what about CJ Goodwin? Yeah, CJ Goodwin. I love him on this team. A lot of people don't pay attention to CJ Goodwin, but you should, because he's a gunner. He's a hitter, and when I talk about what he does on special teams and things like that, like when he broke his arm in that game, and I know a lot of you guys wasn't even paying attention. He broke his arm just off of tackling somebody. Like it was crazy. He was on a special teams play, but he is he has a spot on this team, and they're definitely going to keep him. He ain't going nowhere, so you ain't got to worry about CJ Goodwin. He's good. What I think about Tyreek Hill contract, and think it would drive up Amari Cooper contract talk. I don't think so, because with Amari Cooper, it's a different situation because you're kind of just extending his contract from what he had with the Raiders. So it's not like you got to pay him off the wall type of money because Amari Cooper wants to be here. He ain't going nowhere. So they can get something up with Amari Cooper. I don't think that's going to affect him at all. You said Beasley is a new Scandrick of the team. I wouldn't go that far because Scandrick was Oscar the Grouch. Scandrick didn't like a lot of. He didn't go. He went against the grain. Cole Beasley not really going against the grain. He just won his money. That's all he's griping about. But he loved Dak. He loved his teammates. If you see him on Twitter and how he interacts with the other wide receivers, I mean, he's still talking to them like he's still going to play next year. So the team still wants Cole Beasley, but I don't know. I don't know what what to do with that. Yeah, Tamara, I know. You just keep it moving though. Um, I just look at it like this, guys. It's like when Monday comes, it's gonna be crazy just to see what goes on. I'm we have one more day before the weekend. We know that nothing happens over the weekend as far as transactions because the NFL is closed on the weekends when it comes to negotiations and money being spent. So could the Cowboys come to a contract decision with D Law tomorrow? I doubt it. Um, It'll probably be something that happens during free agency because I think they're looking at trying to get some people in free agency. As far as this Earl Thomas thing goes on, um, I don't really like talking about Earl Thomas a lot, and you won't hear me talk about him a lot. But what I will say is this: that Athletic or whoever that was that made that tweet about good job, Miss Jackie. When he made that comment about oh, what did I? I'm sorry, I just lost my train of thought. Um, I'm sorry, I was what was I talking about? I'm so sorry, I completely just lost focus. Oh yeah, the athletic guy. So when he made that tweet about Earl Thomas, the Cowboys not being interested in him. So again, that was clickbait, and you don't. That's not true. What it is they're not interested in that $15 million contract. They're not focusing on. They're not going to pay him $15 million. You look at all the safeties that got cut off of these teams, like Eric Weddle and all them. There's plentiful safeties out there. So his that dollar amount that he wants, he's not going to get. It's going to be negotiated. Now we know that he has interest in being with the Cowboys. The Cowboys have interest in him becoming a Cowboy. The issue is the Cowboys have a figure that they want to pay him. But even if the Cowboys are pressed, even if the Cowboys were pressed to have him on the team, they're not going to act like it. Because as soon as you act pressed, you lose all your leverage because then that player knows that, oh, they want me so bad, they'll do whatever. I can drive this price as high as I want to and they'll pay it. But no, the Cowboys are going to play hardball. So guys, don't listen to everything that you hear out there because everything is not what it seems. You got to kind of read between the lines. Um, so it's not that the Cowboys weren't interested; they just weren't interested in that $15 million figure. But they are interested if he's willing to negotiate a low. What's going on, Gerald? If they're willing to wheel and deal with a lower percentage because they can get him signed for something like they could give him 11.5 mil, and they could put some incentives in there. Same thing that you would do with Cole Beasley. Um, you can do that. You can make that work. That's team friendly as well. You can damn sure make that happen because again, he doesn't have as much leverage. You got his injury history. You have other safeties that's out there. It's different levels to that drives his money down that he can't even ask for that. Just because he want that don't mean he gonna get it. So that's just how I feel about that. Yeah, Yvonne, I agree. Um, but I was just putting that out there because again, it is a trust factor with him, and we won't know until they have an interview with him when the offseason comes back. Well, when they come back from like OTAs and stuff like that. Oh yeah, Miss Jackie, I don't get to listen to Mike Fisher that much. I don't really I mean I met him when we were there because I went to his bar, but I haven't really seen much of what he was talking about. So hey, if he's saying the same thing I'm saying, then it's probably true. I think that I think that what we have right now, we got some good things going on tap. I think that we have to continue to stay focused with our team. Um, they again, it all starts with D Law. They can't sign anybody that matters. Like signing Darian Thompson and Justin March Lillard and guys like those. Those are small fish in the pond. You can get those guys done anytime, and it doesn't mess with anything else. But they're not going to be able to do anything in free agency, whatever the case may be, until they sign D Law. And the longer this drags out, the worse it's going to get. And it's going to be animosity. And once it gets to social media, you already know how TMZ gets with Dallas Cowboys. They want to see people fail. They just want to see stuff happen. So that's where I'm at with that. So we just have to be smart about it, guys. Um, before I end the stream, does anybody have anything else they want to you wanted me to touch on before I leave? No farting though. Um, no, but he's not going to take up half the cap. I think that his percentage might be like 12%, 14%. Nothing more than that. He said, "Why not go out and try to sign Vinny Curry with the Buccaneers?" Here's the thing: anytime you get any pass rusher that's going to be a free agent or whatever the case, if you try to trade for one, you're still going to be paying close to what you pay D Law. So at this point, there's no point of wasting your time with that. You just got to get D Law done. You get D Law done, and you go out and you get some other guys, some smaller fish to help him out because you're going to need these guys because again, you don't have Irving and you don't have Gregory. Yes, Yvonne, I can definitely tell, and I like Alan Hearns just as much as you do, and I think that he'll be very good for this team. I just feel like they need to use him better. Was Jackie? He's tagged, but he didn't sign it. So what happens is there's a deadline that's coming in July. I think it's July 5th or something like that, where they have to have all their tags complete, signed. So if you're going to give him a contract, you have to get that contract done before that. He's not signing that tag, so they got to give him a contract. God bless Yvonne. Um, again, D-Law is your leader. He is your leader on that defensive line. You have to have him. They have to sign him. No ifs and ands or buts about it. You go out and you get some other guys. They can go back and they can re-sign Dayton Jones. There's other guys that they can bring out to basically help suffice the loss of those two guys. And that's what you need to do. Oh, you're welcome, Ms. Jack. Yeah, I hate looking at that clock cue because I'll be looking at it. I try not to pay attention to the clock because if I zone out and don't pay attention, then I come back to it. Then all of a sudden it's like, oh damn, we've been rolling through these days. But again, this off season seemed like it's sliding real fast because the draft is next month, and I'm like, I didn't even realize how close it was. Like I got to get my life together. Drop by to show some love. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, Team G. Appreciate the love, man. I really do. Um, yeah, so let's see what happens. Maybe some news that comes down tomorrow. I don't think about D-Law though. I think that's gonna be a little bit longer on that one. But let's see what happens in free agency, you guys. There's a lot of guys that got released. There's gonna be a lot of moving and shaking. As you've seen, the Redskins already traded for Case Keenum. I figured that would happen because they didn't have a quarterback. It was either him or Nick Foles, and the Eagles weren't giving up Nick Foles to anybody in the division. That situation was similar to the Seahawks and us with Earl Thomas. They weren't trying to give up Earl Thomas to us because we was a competitor. So that's just what it is. These teams are slick with it, I tell you. So again, let's be smart about it this offseason, guys. Let's look at it from an educational standpoint. Let's make some sense of this because there's a rhyme or reason to everything. You have to look at things from a different angle. Yes, good night. Tomorrow's Friday. Enjoy your work day. Yes, the weekend is upon us. I'm DJing tomorrow night, so that's gonna be really good. So yeah, I might have a great weekend myself. It's too early. We need to chill, see how it works out. Be fine. Yeah. Yep. So thanks again, you guys, for coming through the my live stream. I appreciate it. Sorry about that mishap before. I don't know what YouTube was doing with the first one, but I deleted that one. So this one will be posted. So if some of you guys came in late, you'll be able to rewatch it once I post it. Yes, Nate, everybody hit the like button, like, share, comment. Thanks again to all you guys. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. Of course, we'll be seeing Mark doing construction work tomorrow. I try to keep my live streams every Wednesday, but if for whatever reason I can't do it on Wednesday, I always make it up on a Thursday like I'm doing tonight. So I'm not forgetting about you guys. You know, my schedule's been kind of hectic, but I appreciate you guys supporting me. Good night, guys. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. I'll probably do a video tomorrow so you guys hear from me. Peace out, y'all. Y'all have a great evening.